All right, everybody. Happy Monday, big waves, double hands. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Well, great weekend. I hope everybody, all the moms out there, I hope you got spoiled yesterday. Maybe somebody fixed you some dinner or lunch or breakfast or something. So, but just in case, I want to tell you, you're super special and we thank you for being the mom that you are. So, or the grandma, or the great grandma. Okay. So the word for today to kick off this Monday, and we actually had a birthday and we've got to celebrate it. Miss Melinda Stevens, she is on here every day, and her birthday was this weekend. So, Melinda, we don't always get to do this, but we want to honor you today and sing happy birthday to you since we missed it because you are so happy and elated to sing everybody else songs. So anyway, we're gonna sing to you. So courage, the ability to do something that frightens you. Strength in the face of pain or grief. I really am glad we started off this Monday with the word courage because I think that we almost need a little injection of it to go into the week, right? And then maybe a week later, another injection of courage because our world's forever changing, our lives forever changing. There's ups, there's downs, there's hills, there's valleys. And so to get that injection on a frequent basis is very nice. Um, so I come across this. Nelson Mandela actually said this a long time ago, but he said, I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over fear. So think about it. Courage is the ability to move from point A to point B, even though you're fearful. You're just able to overcome fear and move anyway. And it immediately took me, and I've told you guys this, but maybe you're new and you hadn't heard this, but I struggled a lot in school. And speaking was one of the things I struggled on. And I'm telling you, every time I take the stage today, it brings me back to a place in my life where it was a rough place. And every time I step up on stage, there's this a range of emotions going on from my childhood that I personally have to overcome. That at 48 years old, I'm still overcoming. And I share that with you because that's just one instance, but you probably have some things in your world too that feels that way to you. But um, to me, it's okay to be fearful, but it's accepting the challenge anyway. And there's so many times that I can relate to this because it's going back to the stage. It's like I say yes to the challenge, knowing that there's still going to be a lot of anxiety and fear in me. And for you, it might be getting on the roller coaster. For you, it might be saying no to, to diet drinks. It could be little, it could be big, but at the end of the day, it's all the same, right? It's all the same. It's these little things that we've got to step through and accept the challenge, even though we're scared to death if we're going to be able to win, or go through it. So where I went this morning really quick was benefits. I think fear is healthy because it causes us to evaluate like the risk versus rewards. So does that make sense? Like if we didn't have fear, well, we would just do everything, right? And find out on the other side. But at least the fearfulness in us is a measure that stops us and says, hey, What's the risk? What's the reward? Is it worth it? And then you got knuckleheads like me that do it anyway and been like, yeah, that wasn't very smart. You know, that was not very smart. Maybe you can feel that too. So here's benefits to courage. One, it builds your self-confidence. The more you step past fear and challenge your limits rather than limiting your challenges, it builds self-confidence. It also gives us perspective from a different viewpoint. Like, it also empowers other people. They see us, and especially if we're humble enough to share our fear, it inspires others that says, hey, I can do that. If they can do it, I can do it. You know, it allows us to step out of our comfort zone, right? I think that courage and fear kind of go hand in hand, and it's all about stepping out of that land of comfortable to that land of being uncomfortable. I remember leaving my profession of education, giving up retirement, giving up pension, giving up all these things the world tells you, and I'm out of my comfort zone, scared to death. But it's like, man, I'm thankful for the courage God gave me. I believe it makes a more successful human because they're more likely to pursue their dreams and not put their dreams in their suitcase, not put their dreams in their closet. It allows them to seize the opportunity. I hear it all the time. I hear people that say, yeah, I can't invest because I don't have the money. And it's like, oh yeah, you know how to get the money to invest. You just don't, you choose not to, right? Um, it's limiting those things rather than going, you know what? My future self might really thank me if I take advantage of this opportunity that I have here. So I think the end that if I'm using courage on a daily, on a weekly, on a monthly basis in my life, it keeps things exciting. It keeps things fresh. It keeps me growing. And so that's my thought around courage, Andrea. I'll turn it to you.
Well, great lesson this morning, Coach. And this is a great word to start the Monday. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And the quote that I found was, fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision. And that's Winston Churchill. And about, gosh, going on 15 years ago, I decided that I needed to change my life motto because before then, I would get scared. And so I would turn around and go the other way, or I would put the dream in the closet, or I would just go back home, whatever it looked like. If I was scared, I took that as, oh, this is the end of the line for me. I've got to stop whatever it is I'm doing that's making me afraid. And so about 15 years ago, just shy of that, I decided that my new motto was going to be feel the fear and do it anyway. And to me, that is the definition of courage. And I truly believe that all of us, even the most timid in the room, can absolutely develop a more courageous spirit. So that's what I looked into. Like, how can we gather or create or have just a little bit more courage today, excuse me, than we did yesterday? So first of all, we got to notice the fear. Like, sometimes we don't do activities because we're scared, but we don't actually even admit it to ourselves that we're afraid. We say, oh, well, that's just not going to work in my budget, right, Coach? Like, I can't invest because I'm too afraid to let it out of my savings account, but I'm going to have a logical reason. So many times when there's actually fear, we're going to come at you or somebody else or even ourselves with logic. And what we have to do is we have to slow down enough to notice, what are we actually afraid of, right? What scares me? And it might be something as simple as, if my bank balance is below a certain amount, it gives me anxiety. And so I have to confront that and say, okay, well, just because it's not here, it's still in the universe. It's just over here. And so just take the time to notice the places where fear is holding you back, and recognizing that fear is the first step in order to let that fear go. Next, we can find some inspiration. Who in your life is crazy courageous? Who in your life says, oh, they're doing an event in Japan. I am going to reschedule what I have going on. I'm going to jump on a plane and I'm going to fly across the world because I want something to happen there. Where you said, oh, that sounds a little scary. That would take 4 months of planning. I can't do anything that sudden, right? So who do you have in your life that makes courageous decisions? Well, go watch what they're doing. Go observe the choices that they make and see if you can follow in their footsteps. Next is do something every day that gets you out of your comfort zone. And it can be a small thing, like maybe today you absolutely go wild and you decide not to make your bed before you walk downstairs. You decide to be really crazy, right? You could do it. But you could do something just small or big that is just a little bit outside your comfort zone. And every time you make yourself a little bit more uncomfortable, you give yourself the courage to do a little bit more. So just find one little thing. If we want to be really courageous, we can focus on gratitude, even in moments of extreme fear. You know, you picture, and okay, maybe not for you, but for me, your kids beg you and you're like, okay, fine, I'm going to be brave. And you get on this roller coaster. And you know that moment where it's going click, 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 and it's going up. And then you get to the top. Now, for me, I just die. Like right there, I'm gone. But let's just pretend that you don't just die. You can, in that moment, say, I'm so grateful that my kid wanted me next to them for this experience. And when we can find gratitude in those moments of even intense fear, we can find our courage. So even if it's a hunt for something to be grateful for in that moment, and you can find more gratitude. Next is to put it in perspective. You know, what's the worst thing that can happen if you take the trip to a new place and you forgot all the things? Well, it might hurt your credit card. Your credit card might cry a little bit, but you can still make it work. So just figure out what is the worst thing that can happen. And then lastly, give yourself some grace. So having courage requires that growth mindset. It requires having that attitude of this isn't going to kill me, and I can grow and I can change if I so choose. So nothing's locked in forever, and we can absolutely change, but it takes time and it takes practice. And we're still going to feel those scary moments, and we're still going to want to turn around and run the other way. So give yourself a little bit of grace in those moments so that you can choose courage the next time.
Great lesson. And that was a good start to the Monday too. I like the word for the Monday. Okay. Melinda, this is coming for you. We're going to let you have an extended birthday, lady.
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Melinda.
Happy
Happy birthday to you.
We love you,
Melinda.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday.
Love you, Melinda. Have a good
Guys,
day.
have a beautiful
Happy birthday.
Monday.
Have a great day, everybody.
Have a great day, guys.
Sunday.